I wanted today to talk about something that's kind of been not playing on my mind, but just like a little mental battle that I've been trying to depict, something I've been pondering on over the last, I guess, couple weeks, couple months. And this kind of stemmed, the reason why I wanted to talk about this today is because I was going to ask myself a couple questions, and the first question I had written down was, what am I worried about? And before I left today, that was the first question I was going to ask myself, and I wanted to think about it a little bit first. And I asked the question, what am I worried about, in like a very general sense, whether I'm worried about something that's going to happen today, something that, like a reoccurring anxiety that's perhaps day to day, or something that worries me about the future, about tomorrow, about next week, about next year, about the next decade. And I couldn't answer it. I genuinely couldn't answer it. There's nothing that like severely worries me. And this is going to sound stupid, but that in itself worries me. And then it kind of got me thinking, and this is where it ties into what I just said. This is my reoccurring thought, is it just cope? Am I just coping, or am I just like manifesting this idea that I don't have anxiety, or I'm not worried? Am I just telling myself that because there's actually things I am worried about and I'm just too afraid to admit them? But like, I genuinely cannot think of anything I worry about day to day. Even now, just thinking, not like, there's nothing to an extent that would like affect my life. You know, like there's social situations and stuff where I don't like avoid social situations, but I guess there's social situations where recently, like, my social battery has just depleted, and I just sort of like need my own space for a bit. But I wouldn't say that's like something I worry about. It's just something it's just something, it's not even something that crosses my mind beforehand. It's just something that when it happens, I just deal with it there and then. Like I now have ways of dealing with that. So it's not something I worry about. And I guess I don't really know where I'm going with this talk, because I quite literally don't have anything to talk about in terms of this topic. I guess the only thing I would say I'm perhaps worried about is the future. But that's very generalized. I think like there's no one specific thing about the future I'm worried about. I find it hard to I can't really look more than like a year ahead of me right now. I'm very content with living the life I live right now. And I don't really want it to change. And I guess the one thing that that gives me a bit anxiety is like social pressure from mainly family that like I should or could be doing more, but I don't really know what more. And the way I've always justified that to myself is the fact that I'm doing what I want to do. And to be quite honest, I don't really give a fuck what anyone thinks. I will do what I want to do, because as long as I'm not hurting anyone, and as long as, you know, if the only person I'm hurting is myself, then that's on me. As long as I'm not hurting anyone else in my life, then I don't see why I should be worried about what other people think of me and what I'm doing. So again, I'm kind of just like, is that really a worry? Perhaps worry isn't the right word for me. Perhaps there's a different word I'm looking for. And I then thought perhaps like anxiety. But again, it's not really anxiety. It's kind of just, it's just a thing that like plays on my mind. I feel like I should constantly be doing more than I am. And in turn, in the past and currently right now, that's led me to a place where I've just like fucking overworked myself to fuck. And I have this like telltale sign in my body that when I start getting reoccurring nosebleeds, that's when I'm pushing the limit too far, and that's when I need to dial it back. And it happened to me at the weekend when I was doing leg press, so pretty heavy shit. I probably had a lot of built up pressure in my head, but even so, like, I feel like my nose shouldn't just fucking bleed from doing that. But yeah, I was just doing the leg press and my nose started bleeding. I got a taste of blood in my mouth, and before I knew it, I had blood coming out my nose. And it's weird because I've not been getting anywhere near enough sleep, just because I've been staying up super late, just working on different shit. But I guess my dilemma is like, no one ever sees what I'm doing. No, I'm never talking about what I do. And so from the outside, it looks like I'm not doing anything. And I guess that kind of, again, like, it's my own fault. Like, I don't talk about my trading and my YouTube stuff and these talks. Believe it or not, like, editing the footage and stuff for these takes up a lot of time. But I enjoy that. I'm not complaining. I just, once I'm like hooked on something, I genuinely just like completely lose track of time, and before I know it, it's like 1-2 o'clock in the morning, and I've got work at 6 o'clock the next morning. Bam, I got fucking 4 hours sleep. Like, fuck. And the thing that's happened over the last week is my dad's given me the opportunity to rebuild his website, which I haven't made a website in fucking so long, probably like a good 2 years. And so I've kind of been like reteaching myself a little bit of how to do it. And yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed the process of it. And I guess that's something like today I've showed my dad what I've been working on. And he seemed pretty happy with it, so that made me happy. So he's seeing some of the work I'm doing, but like, I haven't told him I've been staying up stupidly late at night doing it, because I don't know. I just don't talk about it. I'd rather, I think from like a young age, I've always kind of liked the idea of my actions speaking over my words. And I think sometimes I take that way too literally, to the point where I don't say anything. And I think the thing that's perhaps knocked me off my horse a little bit was like the beginning of 2024 when my trading started. I started being pretty fucking accurate with my shit and became very profitable very quickly. And then I was just like telling my mum every single day, like, oh, I've made this much, I made that much. It's like a drug. It's fucking insane. And obviously that's something I regret doing. I regret ever speaking those sorts of figures to anyone, to be honest, because I mean, maybe I just had a bad experience with it, and that's kind of just made me think that, I don't know, it just kind of put my guards up a little bit. I don't want people to treat me differently just because I have a little bit of money. But that's besides the point. I again, like during that period of time, I was just fucking locking myself in my room, staying up stupidly late just because I'm so like addicted. I get so addicted to like one thing, and I just all time sort of just like disappears. But anyway, I'm going off on a complete tangent. From the outside, it just doesn't look like I'm doing anything. And I mean, yeah, I guess maybe I am just, I don't know why I don't talk about any of it. I don't know if it's embarrassment or whether my past experiences have just sent my walls so high up that I don't want to talk about it. Like when people ask me how work's going, like I only ever talk about the gardening. I don't talk about anything else because I guess I just don't want to. But I also guess that's okay. I feel like none of what I've said has made any sense whatsoever. Maybe I'll listen back to this and it'll piece together nicely, I don't know. Right now my head just feels a bit congested on this matter anyway. Because life on the whole, today I cut grass for the first time this year. And like the smell of the freshly cut grass, just, oh man, nothing beats it. It's fucking such a good smell. It reminds me of summer and having your jumper off, and fucking I do so much to be in the summer sun right now. I feel like I'm done with winter. I try not to moan about like the weather and stuff, because obviously the gardening's my choice. I volunteer to do it. It's not compulsory. Like if I wanted to go and get another job to keep me busy, like I very much could. I'm not, again, like I'm my own worst enemy in that sense. So I try not to complain because, you know, it's my decision and all that. But yeah, I am kind of just done with, like, I saw a post today on Twitter saying it's rained every single day of 2026 so far, and we're 42 days in, which is pretty crazy, really. I mean, even on the days where we have had like a dry road, I think I mentioned one in a couple talks ago, I said like, oh, I can't believe I'm actually riding on a dry road. Like it then rained like that same evening, like a couple hours later. So yeah, it's been a tough winter, but like I've learned a lot about myself, and as I said in my talk, the previous talk I did, like I'm so eager to push myself, and I guess this one I'm doing now and the last one kind of intertwine a little bit, because I kept saying how I just feel like I have something to prove to the outside. And I think like, and I still think now, like getting a night shift job, working those crazy hours, I'm showing that I can actually put a shift in. And I know I can do it. I know I could 100% do those sorts of crazy hours. I guess I do feel some sort of pressure from family and stuff to perform, and I don't really know why. Especially when I do perform and I do have success, I keep it quiet. I don't really celebrate it. But likewise, when I have my losses, I also keep them quiet as well. There's an interesting point my friend made listening to his talk earlier today. He was saying how, like a YouTuber he watched said, how do you deal with hate, like hate comments? Well, you just essentially just don't give a shit. Just, shrug it off, ignore it to some extent. But then likewise, my friend made the point, like, if you get a positive comment, should you just ignore it? Because, if you're constantly just reading comments from your fans or whatever saying like, oh, you're amazing, you're the best, you look so handsome, you have big muscles, like basically sucking your dick, like that is just going to give you a massive ego. So you should really just not listen to the good shit as well. You can't really be selective, so you've kind of just got to pick one or the other. And I guess that's sort of what I do with my ups and downs, my wins and my losses. I keep my wins quiet and I keep my losses quiet, and I just keep my head down and keep going. And I guess that's almost, I find that kind of satisfying, I guess, knowing that I'm putting in the work. And I don't know, I quite like the fact that I'm almost a little bit mysterious, I guess. Again, like I don't really know where that comes from. It's something I want to ponder on anyway. I'm nearly at the gym, so I'll probably wrap it up here. It's something I want to ponder on and explore. I need to find a why to these sorts of questions, and I think maybe astrology has something to play in this. I'm not sure. I'm hitting chest today, chest and biceps. It is wet again, but that's basically been the same story for the last 41 days. So yeah, I'm gonna go and destroy my chest. See you later.